Hello, Cherie Hansen here. I always like to start off with the invitation to come and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can keep up with the interesting lessons I'm learning or the wisdom of various teachers that I'm reading. And we're continuing on with the art of communicating with Thich, Nhat, Hanh and into creating community in the world. As powerful as compassionate communication can be when we use it in our individual relationships, its power is magnified when we bring it to our communities. Both communication and community have the same Latin root, communicare, meaning to impart, share, or make common. We need to go in the direction of reconciliation and understanding, not just with our friends and family, but in our neighborhoods and workplaces. We can create an inclusive, compassionate foundation as the basis from which we interact with everyone. A community that is committed to mindful speech and deep listening can be very effective in making society better. These two practices could be part of a global ethic that would be available to people of any culture or religious tradition to reduce conflict and restore communication. Community creates change. We can speak of our practice in terms of energy because mindfulness is a kind of energy. When we bring our energies together, they are increased 1,000-fold. The whole can be much, much greater than the sum of its parts. Systematic change can't be achieved without the energy of community. If you want to save the planet, if you want to transform society, you need a strong community. Technology is not enough. Without mindfulness, technology can be more destructive than constructive. When we speak about creating a sustainable environment or a more just society, we usually speak of physical action or technological advances as a means to achieve these goals. But we forget about the element of a connected community. Without that, we can't do anything at all. Usually, we think of communal action in terms of physical acts, but the energy of a shared meditative silence or communal chanting is also communication and a powerful kind of action. I don't think of this concentration so much as prayer or a religious rite, but rather as a form of communication. When we sit and concentrate as a community, we create a collective energy that has compassion and awakens understanding in it. Sitting together in silence can be a practice of listening to our own suffering and the suffering of the world. The collective energy of mindfulness also supports our individual practice. When we see other people who are in good communication with themselves and others, they inspire us. Sometimes the cause of our sorrow is hidden by so many layers of suffering that we can't penetrate it by ourselves, even when we practice diligently and sit mindfully. In these cases, the energy of a community of mindfulness can help us embrace and release suffering that we could not reach by ourselves. If we open our hearts, the collective energy of the community can penetrate the suffering inside us. Mindful listening and speaking will make it easier for us to build a stronger community, building trust and sharing suffering. Some of us do not easily trust another person. For such a person, it can be difficult to imagine sharing with a larger community. We may be a little bit wary or even very suspicious. People say they love us and understand us, but we haven't really experienced that love and understanding. We should be able to find ways to help a person who doesn't have the capacity to receive love and understanding. Sometimes there is a real love, there is a real understanding, but the person doesn't believe in love and understanding, and that's why he has never been able to receive it. The person is like a hungry ghost. In Buddhism, a hungry ghost is someone who has a big empty stomach and is very hungry, but has a very tiny throat. Even if there's plenty of food, that person can't swallow it. He can't absorb anything. So even if a lot of understanding and love is offered, that person isn't able to take it. A person who suffers like that has no capacity to receive understanding, love, and help. You have to be very patient. From time to time, we see hungry ghosts like that walking around, and we can recognize them very easily. They look very alone and cut off. You have to be very patient and allow them a lot of time and space. Don't be too eager to help, because when you're too eager to help, you may have the opposite effect from what you intended, and you may get an opposite response. Remain fresh, loving, compassionate, and spacious for them. That is what you can do now. Look deeply to see if you can find a mantra that's skillful enough to help them enlarge their throats and get nourishment. With patience and time, one day their throats will be larger, and they will begin to notice the energy of love and understanding that is in you. Community building takes time. And again, the wisdom that he offers is so beautiful. We always assume that we're being rejected when another person doesn't accept our love, but to come to this mindful place of understanding that some people have the capacity to receive love and care and help, and other people simply haven't developed the capacity to take that in. It's not because of us, it's not because we've done something wrong. It is a problem that they're experiencing in their lives. And we keep coming back to this idea of the intention of all communication is to release and relieve suffering in both of us, face to face. I do it by knowing what I am feeling, what's triggering me, what my suffering looks like. And I'm not going to put myself in a position where I'm trying to succeed at communicating with another person. I can only communicate with myself and stay grounded and stick with the intention of being mindful in the way that I'm communicating with another person. And I think that's brilliant. It's helpful for all of us to think about right now when we're talking about reconciliation and so many social injustices that are surfacing. Stay in a place where we hold space for others who are hurt, and we keep the intention of loving them, and we don't need them to reward us with any social behavior at all. We're not here to make ourselves feel better. We are here to work together on our mutual suffering. Thank you.